So here we are, part 2 of how I navigate business and life. I'd received a ton of messages from people, of course, saying things like, must be nice, but also, how do you do it? What does it actually look like behind your business, behind closed doors, that you're able to take time off and travel so much? And, are you really working? Are you really still making money? Is it just totally flatlined? So today I want to focus on chapter 3 and chapter 4. So chapter 3 really started in probably 2019. So 2012 starts the whole playing around. 2014, I start to take it more seriously. I hire my first business coach and I join a mastermind. 2015, 16, 17, I quit my job. 2017, 18, it's just exploding. I'm booming, I'm going all in, I'm hustling, I'm grinding. In 2019, I started to focus on delegating and outsourcing. Now, let me be clear. At the time, I wasn't doing it to be proactive. I was doing it to be reactive, meaning I was drowning, I couldn't breathe, and I needed help. Now, that is not a good place to hire from, but that is where most of us hire from, especially our first couple hires. But I was in a reactive phase of my business, and that's a good problem to have when it's because you're drowning in leads and client acquisitions. And so in 2019, I started this new chapter of starting to delegate. But delegating didn't just mean literally hiring people and learning how to do that and paying people. Delegating meant letting go of control. So hiring and delegating meant actually learning how to get out of my own way. Really, truly, it was more about how do I give up control? How do I trust somebody else? Especially when I did start to delegate, I did start to trust other people, and it didn't work out multiple times. How do you not take that personally? How do you have the emotional intelligence to know, was that an attack on you? Were you abandoned? How are you going to trust somebody else in the future? It has taken years for me to turn so many parts of my business over to where we are today, but it's taken years to get here. They've got their hands in my calendar, my social media, they're in my email accounts. That's a really difficult thing for most of us to do, especially when we think and feel, and this was me for a really long time, that I'll just do it faster or I can do it better. That is not going to get you very far. That is going to get you right to burnout. That's going to get you right to resentmentville. And so it's taken years for me to be where I am today. Most of that meaning the internal personal work that I had to do, the releasing, the letting go, the being okay with if I delegate this thing, knowing there is the reality that it might not get done in the way that I want it to. But could it be true that 80% done is better than 100% not done because I don't have the time to do it, or 100% not done because I keep procrastinating and prioritizing other things over it, or 100% it's done, but now I'm burnt out. But what I want to be clear here is chapter 3 wasn't about working less. I was changing the hat that I had been wearing. Now, for so many of us, we wear a lot of hats on our day by day. We're the coach, consultant, creator, we're doing sales, marketing, we're wearing a lot of hats. But when I was at this fork in the road moment in chapter 3, and I stepped into, you know what? I do want to have a team. I want to be able to pay someone's salary. I want to change more lives. And in order for me to be able to do that, I'm going to need support. I want to stretch myself and expand myself and see what it looks like to really be a leader. But for me, it was like, let's step into the department of leadership. Let's step into the department of team building and team culture. Let's step into the department of, I'm going to step into a new version of Jess, and I haven't met her yet. And I've learned over the years that every time there's a down, I know there's going to be an up on the other side. Every time there's a difficult conversation, I know that I'm growing. Every time that I have to fire someone or somebody quits, I know that I'm only going to be stronger after it. I do believe that everything is happening for me and everything's happening for a reason. And if people pop out of my company, if clients leave and pop out of my company, it's for the greater good, for me, for the company, for them, for their future. I've learned to get really good at the emotional intelligence piece, and that's what I've really been working on for the last couple of years. So 2019 really was the start of the evolution of the business. It stopped being about Jess Glazer, and it started being about the digital business evolution. It started to become about our mission. It started to become about empowering other coaches and putting other coaches on pedestals, helping other people and helping more people, and empowering my team members and really looking at that. So it wasn't just 2019 is going to hire so she could put her feet up and eat bonbons. It was just, I'm going to hire and delegate so that I can remove myself from parts of the business that don't need to be me anymore. So I can go expand the business and I can expand myself and step into a new version of myself, which meant that I was going to have to learn a lot of new skills. But let me also just say, it was hiring before I was ready. It was initially hiring unpaid internships, partial paid things, coming in, tiny little jobs, getting VAs, Upwork, Fiverr, then bringing people in, doing trades, then bringing people in, growing it. And it wasn't until 2021 that I brought on my first W-2 full-time salaried employee. And man, was that scary. Like, wow, to go from my hourly rate that I was paying and send over your invoice to a W-2 employee with benefits on a full-time salary, more money than I ever made in my job as a professional. That was so scary. And it's been the most rewarding, beautiful thing that I've ever done. And chapter 4 is what you see today. The must be nice nice. Retiring Mike from his corporate job in 2020. What does that mean? He didn't retire. He was 37 years old. He just left corporate. He left his job to come work with me to turn it into a family business. And I needed the help in a position that was very similar to the position that he was doing at his previous job at the bank. And so it made sense for us. Let's go all in together. It just felt really fun. It felt really easy for us to make that decision. Scary, but really easy, because it also meant that on the other side, we would finally have that holistic freedom that we were desiring, which for us is time freedom, location freedom, career freedom, vacation freedom, creative freedom. And so the chapter 4 that you see today of the team, of me being able to take out of office time effortlessly, of sales coming in when we're not launching things, is years and years of culmination of doing the internal work, of doing the external work, of having thousands and thousands of client results. Our clients sell our programs for us. We don't even ask them to. It's word of mouth. It's referral. They're talking about it. They're getting results. It's years of trial and error, hundreds and hundreds. I've put in thousands of reps. I'm not better than you, whoever you are listening. I may have just been doing it longer. I probably have done more reps. Even if we've been doing it the same length of time, I probably have put in more reps, because I have relentlessly and ruthlessly shown up over and over and over consistently for years. A year ago, as I record this episode, a year ago this week is our 1-year anniversary of my ectopic pregnancy. So we were pregnant. I apologize if this brings anything up for you, but Mike and I had an unexpected ectopic pregnancy where we lost the baby and I lost my right fallopian tube. And this happened in the middle of our launch of our signature program, Empower. And so we used to do 2 times a year, our giant live in-studio, huge production. And this was on day 2 of day 13. I was rushed into the hospital, underwent this surgery, and was basically pulled out of the entire launch mechanism. So 13 days of lives every single day. And on day 2, I had this surgery. Day 3 and day 4, I couldn't even show up. I could not even show my face. Day 5, I came back. I acted as if nobody knew what was going on. We kept the camera above my waist. Underneath, I was wearing pajamas and a diaper, and emotionally, I was a disaster, but I showed up. There were thousands of people. I did this by choice, and the show must go on, right? This was my choice. And I continued, and we went through, and the team carried everything. I wasn't on meetings. I didn't write emails. I had nothing to do with the launch except showing my face for this live. And when we were done, we had the second biggest launch that the company has ever had, and it was evidence that we had built the machine. Now, I personally would have liked to have seen it in a different lesson, but that's okay. We had been talking about it for so many years. We want to build a machine that makes us money even if we're not there. We want to build a machine that makes us money even if we're all on vacation or God forbid something happens. It doesn't rely on me. It doesn't rely on any one of us. And to see through that awful experience that we built the machine, that's what you're seeing today. So yes, I am able today to take more space than I had before. My calendar is lighter than it's ever been, but a lot of it's by choice. We shut off $250,000 to $400,000 in revenue. We intentionally shut it off a year ago. I stopped taking one-on-one clients. We shut down one of our programs, but we intentionally shut off hundreds of thousands of dollars of revenue in the business so that my calendar could look the way that we were desiring it to look, because we believe that you should build your business around your life, not your life around your business. Stop rushing the process. Whatever season, whatever chapter you're in, the destination is in the doing. Find love in the present moment. Find passion where you are right now. All right, if you loved this episode, this 2-part series, it would mean the world to me if you shared it out on social media, tagged me at I am Jessica DeRose. The reason that means so much to me is because then more people see it, more people can listen, and we can change more lives. I love you so much for listening. As always, cheers to your evolution.